So one thing that has never been possible is truly seeing a game master's point of view when it comes to the fight against bots, hackers, and gold sellers. What are game masters actually doing to fix the problems in the game? Because when you evaluate the situation and look at all these crazy videos on YouTube catching hackers and bots, it seems like they're putting less effort than British TV personalities do to keep it in their pants around underage minors. Well, it all ends today. I've been granted an extremely lucky opportunity to interview a former World of Warcraft game master who worked for Blizzard for 12 years. You'll just be shocked at how little effort Blizzard are actually putting into the war against bots. Game masters barely even log into the game anymore. This interview has revealed to me that the community's worst fears are entirely true, but even worse. BPK, the former GM I interviewed, worked at Blizzard for a total of 14 years, more than a quarter of his life. Unfortunately, a couple of years ago, he and many other Blizzard employees were laid off due to the offices in Versailles, a small region just outside of Paris, being shut down. He shared with me some very miserable images of this happening, like the statue of Kerrigan being taken down. Apparently the offices were shut down due to economical reasons. This was the official statement from Activision Blizzard given to all of the employees who were laid off, despite the fact they made record profits that year. As a self-employed person, I always find it very funny when people tell me they couldn't do what I do because they like having job security. Now, I was recently at a Diablo 4 community event in Cologne and I talked to a number of Blizzard employees there.
Hello, my name is Charlie, and this is my 10th drink. Your turn.
Hello, this is Glenn Harris, and this is my 10th drink.
I learned that Blizzard EU offices are now only based in Cork in Ireland, and there is a smaller office in London. So Blizzard have been downsizing considerably over the past few years. I mean, just look at this image. These guys are mostly game masters. BPK is the Chad holding up a sword, dressed as, I believe, Drekthar. Anyway, all these people no longer work for Blizzard. Hundreds of GMs that the company lost and presumably didn't re-recruit. Profit maximizing became a defining characteristic for Blizzard games after the Activision takeover in 2013 from Vivendi. Obviously, companies are always trying to make a good profit. They do need to make a good profit in order to keep the company running, making new brilliant games, and to pay their staff a good salary. But bleeding the customer dry, laying off thousands of your employees, and compromising the quality of your product is a shameless way to conduct business.
But then the moment that Activision took over, you could noticeably feel that something has changed in the company. The payouts and the profit sharing were noticeably less.
Many employees shared the sentiment that Vivendi was a much kinder company that looked after their staff better. For example, they offered much better ESPPs, employee stock purchase plans, where essentially employees can invest in the company's stock at a discounted price. Some employees got really good payouts apparently. The working climate definitely changed after the Activision takeover.
You had this sense of family and nerdiness in the beginning. And then it got, over time, and got more and more the suit feeling, where you had passionate people, you had artists, you had people who really believed in the Blizzard core values, because you were basically left alone as the Blizzard company. But then the more the merger, the more it wasn't Blizzard anymore, it was Activision Blizzard. And then the further years advanced, it was more and more Activision. That's how I perceive the feeling. Yeah.
You said a lot last night about how a lot of people were being recruited that weren't necessarily passionate, nerdy gamers. There was a lot of non-gamers.
Yeah, that's the feeling, exactly. Yeah.
Apparently Activision stopped prioritizing recruiting staff who were passionate about the game, so it felt like more and more people in upper management weren't genuinely passionate about Blizzard games, or were even into gaming to begin with. One of Blizzard's original core values was to unleash your inner nerd. That's going to be a little difficult to accomplish when you begin to recruit staff who were golf-playing Andes with 2.5 kids, a dreary Audi Q3 SUV, who only really talk about what football team played on the weekend, over some actual proper passionate nerds. It's no surprise really that the company has taken this dark path of greed and dispassionate incompetence. Nothing really illustrates Blizzard's incompetence more than their approach to botters, hackers, and gold sellers. BPK has revealed everything to me and it's utterly shocking. Before we jump into that guys, this video has taken over 100 hours to finally finish. I'd really appreciate it if you could subscribe to the channel, as that really helps me to continue making these larger projects. All subscribers will also get instant early access to the full interview version of this video. We cover some extra topics surrounding some very interesting Blizzard drama, so be sure to just subscribe, go to the channel page and you will see it right there. So you'd think that part of a game master's responsibility is to detect bots and ban them, but this couldn't be further from the truth anymore.
No, the main existence for a game master is to be a ticket machine, like to answer all the requests in as little time as possible. That's the feeling I always had.
According to BPK, game masters barely actually have a need to log into the game anymore. They mostly stay logged out and just simply answer tickets most of the day. This is mainly due to the fact that so many problems that GMs used to deal with in-game can now be dealt with by automated systems. I still find it shocking how GMs aren't actually doing anything in the fight against bots. Their approach is as careless as allowing your long-term girlfriend to get backstage tickets to her favourite band.
I mean, even game masters only rarely go in-game. There is really no reason for it to go in-game.
Blizzard do have steps in place to prevent bots, but the issue is they are nowhere near as effective as they should be, nor as they used to be, particularly before the Activision takeover. Remember the story that Red Mage told us in a previous episode about GM flying around behind him trying to catch him botting? Well, this is a thing of the past. Blizzard has a warden system where if your account is suspected of botting, it will install a program in the background that will scan your hard drive and processing log for any malicious software.
It's an anti-cheat system. I mean, it's just detecting whatever is interacting with the WoW client. Yeah, checks everything in the background, and then, yeah, hopefully you're banned if you're using any malicious software.
The problem is it never works. The devs of bot software are miles ahead of the Blizzard's dev team. They've found ways for bot software to run while being undetectable on your PC. So it's painfully obvious that Blizzard just aren't investing enough resources into making a better warden system, and if they have been doing, well, it's obviously not good enough. The other system they have in place is a dedicated risk analysis team. As far as I understand it, they have an entire department that deals with anything malicious, from credit card fraud. Now, this is a 10th attempt I'm having at saying this. For some reason, I develop a lisp when I say this sentence, so let's do this properly. Credit card fraud, account hacking, and banning bots.
But most of this stuff is giant spreadsheets and data-driven analysis. So that's why they're analysts. If you're a risk analyst, you try to ban as many accounts as possible, and those are the ban waves that everybody knows.
So they will analyze spreadsheets of in-game data, look at the data that is characteristic of bots and hackers. As we know, many botters will use hacks to go underneath the game world. This will be shown as suspicious data on the spreadsheets that the analysis team will look at. Because if an in-game character has an impossibly low number on the y-axis in a particular zone, it obviously looks suspicious. Let's say the lowest that you can be on the map of Hellfire Ramparts is x-axis 5, but somebody is minus 75 on the x-axis for a very long period of time. Then it's very obviously not some unlucky player who has glitched through the floor, it's somebody using fly hacks. This is likely how they detect and ban people, as we know from talking to people who have really big bot gold farming enterprises. The average lifespan of an account is 3 months. This is usually when the ban waves happen and Blizzard put up a really cringy blue post about it. So there's 2 big problems with this information. 1, you're probably as shocked as I am that Blizzard don't have an in-game hands-on approach to finding and banning bots like they used to. So really there's no wonder as to why bots are running around like kids at Disneyland. They obviously aren't analysing in-game data spreadsheets frequently enough, because to be fair, you probably wouldn't need to be in-game if you looked at this data enough. I think the reason GMs no longer have this responsibility is because the technology has advanced to the point where it's needed less. Okay, fair enough. However, it seems that Blizzard just aren't utilising and advancing this technology enough. They aren't putting enough resources and time into looking at this data or making technological advancements to develop AI, for instance, to make the process more efficient, which is scary because the botters are making advancements into AI. Here's another shocking fact. Private servers developed anti-cheat software to automatically detect and ban fly hackers. It has a system in place that can see when your character moves on either X, Y, Z axis too quickly while unmounted. I challenge you to try and fly hack on a private server right now, chances are you're going to get banned straight away. According to BPK, Blizzard doesn't have anything like this in place. You won't get banned straight away for fly hacking, or at least they definitely don't have a system intelligent enough to. And the prevailing theory behind fly hacking devs that I've talked to is that with the addition of dragon riding in the game, it's actually harder now for Blizzard to detect suspicious fly hacking data, because of the movement behavior and patterns of the new dragon riding mounts. Bots are also getting better and better by the day at replicating authentic, fluid, human-controlled movements. Before we move on to the other topics, we have to address this crackpot theory that Blizzard intentionally have a mediocre response to bot accounts because they can make money on those accounts as they do purchase the game and game time.
Yeah, so that can be far from the truth. I read that a lot on the forums and on Reddit and so on, but it's really just a negative for Blizzard. Any bot that is in a game, they're basically using fraudulent money, fun tokens. They use stolen credit cards to buy the original seed game time, or they already have gold somewhere from previous things that they hacked, that they stolen, whatever, and then they buy the game time with that. So it's not like they are introducing new economical mass into the system, and then they are visible to the players, they are annoying the players, they are destroying the economy. It's all just minuses. And people think that the hackers actually buy normal game time or buy a World of Warcraft expansion or something, but they never do that. They never pay. They pay zero, and it's just a big mess.
Let's move on to the topic of infamous gold selling. You know, what steps do Blizzard actually take to detect gold sellers and get them banned?
Not enough, currently.
One big problem that Blizzard has to deal with is gold washing. This is a process that gold sellers practice to make their breadcrumb trail harder to detect from the risk analysis team and GMs, but probably not GMs.
And all the smart gold sellers, they transfer the gold, or they only hack an account just for that certain amount of time to get access to it, and then they immediately trade it to the person who buys it, and then it's really hard to remove it from the person who bought it, or from the WoW token, because that is like a fully automated system, and you just put in gold and you get automatically the reward and game time back, and then you have to put back all this process back. It's like
They use a variety of different sneaky methods to prevent themselves from getting banned. Overgear, the gold selling website that I recently interviewed in a previous episode, confirmed that their seller accounts never get banned, and I'm not surprised. BPK also agrees that the guild bank very likely makes it harder to trace the gold.
But just because the guild bank allows multiple owners, and then you can put gold in or put gold out. That immediately makes it washable, and then multiple people can have access to that gold and just flip it wherever you want it, or trade it, even if one of the accounts gets banned. Then just another account can take out the gold and transfer it to the next guild bank and the next guild bank and the next guild bank.
I would definitely say that gold selling is something harder to police than botting, but there must be something they can do, because one of my streamer friends, Figappy, has had his account automatically suspended multiple times for doing in-game gold giveaways. Me and BPK talked a lot about how the warden system could definitely be improved upon, as it's currently more outdated than the concept of a fully finished video game. But I think one of the main problems that Blizzard is likely facing right now is that most of the devs who built the core World of Warcraft scripting no longer work for the company. Being a script engineer for a video game company is definitely no easy task. It's a very skilled profession. Fully understanding a game's core can take months to fully understand. This is actually a problem that the Lord of the Rings Online struggles with massively today. The managing developer of the game changed hands from Turbine to Standing Stone Games a few years ago. If you think that the recent server disconnect of the hardcore server Stitches is shocking, go play Lotro for a week. There's so many server disconnects and lag, you think you're honestly playing a private server. And the prevailing theory behind that is that SSG don't have a full grasp on the game's original core scripting. So as they have added more content updates and expansions to the game, the issue has become worse, particularly when you do consider that Lord of the Rings Online actually has the biggest MMO game world than any other MMO available right now that isn't procedurally generated. Be mindful though, as this is just a theory, but in my opinion it's a very educated theory, particularly when you understand the mechanics of hosting your own MMO private server. I also asked BPK a number of questions about scam artists and account theft. I think many people will be surprised that just having an authenticator doesn't entirely protect you from getting hacked. If a hacker has access to your email, you're pretty much brown bread. They can receive password reset links and actually get your authenticator removed from the account.
The personal information and gets maybe even a real ID, but then otherwise he can just create a fake ID, try to contact the customer support with the ID or the fake ID, and then try to get one game master to remove the authenticator. But because that's just a normal system that you can request help with. You go to the support website and there is an option, I lost my authenticator, help me to remove it, or something like that.
It only takes a few human errors for the scammers to be successful at fooling a GM with a fake ID. One of the ways they do this is using IDs from obscure countries, because let's be honest, most people only know what an ID looks like from their own country. In fact, when the EU offices close for the day, these tasks roll over to the US risk analysis team, since the concept of night shifts is actually a thing of the past within the company. So it's going to be rarer for a US GM to recognize a passport from Moldova, for instance, because most Americans probably couldn't point to that country on a map. Because Europe is just one big country, right? This is a very fast way for gold sellers to make money, because they can just rinse accounts of all of their value without the need to set up a bot to farm gold for months. A number of websites now, from internet bank accounts to dating apps, request their users to literally record a video of themselves saying their name to verify their account. Blizzard definitely need to do something similar to this to protect their customers. Would you say that overall the infrastructure that Blizzard has to detect everything like this is lacking and it could be better?
Definitely. Well, everything could be better.
Now, the full interview covers many other topics. We talked a lot about various incidents of Blizzard drama, like the mass layoffs, GMs doing things that they shouldn't be doing, and some more fun questions like the purpose of GM Island and the mysterious room with the chair in it. Again, all you gotta do is subscribe to the channel, go to the channel page, and you'll see it right there. Anyway guys, until the next episode where I will be interviewing some very skilled hackers, bot developers, fly hacking developers, you know, stuff like that. My name is Met Goblin. Until my next video, ciao.